So my story kind of comes in two parts. The first part came when I became very vocal about when I was sexually assaulted. And I ended up writing something for a journal where I posted with my article an It's On Us campaign photo that had been taken at my college campus. The It's On Us campaign is a campaign that fights against sexual assault on college campuses for men and women. And I was a part of that campaign. And as I was looking at that poster, which I ended up framing in my room, I ended up writing an article about it, and I wanted to share that with you. September 28th, 2015. This past fall, I was a part of the It's On Us campaign while at my university, which included having my picture taken for a poster that was hung around campus. Yet the story behind this picture means so much more. I was raped just weeks before this picture was taken. I was raped by someone I had known for years, who I considered a friend and who I trusted. I will spare you the details, but from what I remember, I don't want to remember. Since last fall, I have been dealing with the emotional and physical repercussions that come from a traumatizing experience like rape. It affected my studies, my job, my social interactions, and my romantic relationships. It was not the first time I had told him no, but this time he went further than ever before. He came to my dorm room in the middle of the night and took what he had been after for years: control over me. I reported the rape to both the Women's Center and on-campus safety, and he was banned from campus. But I was still terrified. A few months after it happened, I worked up the courage to tell my parents. They sprang into action, collecting advocates and counselors, police friends and lawyers. I ended up filing for a sexual abuse protection order, called a SAPO, which would prohibit the rapist from coming near my family and me. I thought I was done. I was wrong. The rapist hired an attorney to fight my plea for safety, stating that he wanted the legal right to contact, threaten, or attempt to contact me. My battle wasn't over. Through family, friends, and lots of phone calls, I was assigned two of the best lawyers possible. These two strong women fought tooth and claw for me, but that didn't stop the tears at night, the shakes when I heard his name, or the feeling in my stomach every time I had to sleep on the mattress where he raped me. With my team of advocates, lawyers, and counselors, teachers, professors, and friends, I was able to hold my head above water and scream. I was able to legally fight back at a system that told me that being asleep, drinking, or wearing/not wearing certain fabrics meant that I was asking for it. I went to court, and though my lip was shaking and silent tears rolled down my cheeks, I sat up tall and watched as my SAPO order was approved for a few more months. I watched as the rapist and his family were held accountable. I watched as his mother and father, my brother and neighbor, my high school friends, and my college friends sat with me and fought the rapist with their silent stares of justice. The rapist has a permanent record now, so if he rapes again, he will be charged with a felony. I'm still fighting. I still have flashbacks. I'm still learning to trust again. But just like the It's On Us campaign poster, full of staple holes, rips from accidental backpack sweeps, and torn corners, I'm still strong. I look at the poster now, and I see so much pain in my face, but I also see a strength I didn't know I had back then. This poster, the very same poster that hung in the halls of my university at the beginning of my war, now hangs as a battle flag in my bedroom, a safe bedroom. It is on us to create an environment where people are safe from sexual assault, where victims of this crime are heard and believed. We do this by talking about it, and I want to talk about it. I need to talk about it. Everyone deserves to be safe, and everyone who breaks that safety deserves to be held accountable for their actions. Society pins the word victim on our chests, but I'm giving you a new word: warrior. You are loved, you are valued, you are supported. So that was the first installment of my journey. In the very last 3 sentences of this article that I wrote, I state, you are loved, you are valued, you are supported. That is something that my roommate would write on the mirrors in our bathroom and on sticky notes that she'd hide in my textbooks, so that I always knew that I was loved and valued and supported. So now whenever something like this comes up in the news, or I find out that someone else has gone through something similar as I have, I repeat that mantra to myself, and I often repeat it to them as well. So if you need a mantra, or you need some words of encouragement, you are loved, you are valued, you are supported. So after college, I started working at a school, and it was a weird experience and kind of a terrifying one to realize that I was being triggered by children. The person who raped me, I had known for his whole life. And there was a particular little 3-year-old boy at this school, and it was horrifying to look at an innocent child and be reminded of a horrible man. And I would often have to take a break and go to the bathroom and just cry, or take a breath for a moment and have someone step in. And thankfully, I was with a staff that kind of knew this. And even if they didn't know, they knew that, okay, Aubrey needs to go take a break and cry for a second. So I was supported there. But for the longest time, I had these triggers, whether it be the color of someone's hair, the way someone walked, the way someone laughed, even the name, which was a very common name that's shared with a lot of my friends, which I cannot legally say because he could come back and tell me that I have hurt his reputation. Something about going to court is empowering because you find people that are there to support you, but you also have to choose between safety and justice. I chose a sexual abuse protection order, which was kind of like a restraining order. The criminal case would have gone into my relationships, would have taken years to go through, and I wasn't in a place where I could do that. However, in the civil case, he asked for depositions, so we both had to be interviewed by each other's lawyers, and in his deposition, which I received later on, I found out more that had happened than I remembered. And he admitted to what I thought had happened, but because it was a civil case and they were only trying to prove that he wouldn't hurt me again, he wasn't prosecuted for that. So that is something that I always talk about when people ask why women and men don't come forward about this. It's a battle that's very hard to go into, and the results sometimes don't help in the way of justice. So the justice that I find comes with helping others. When I was kind of coming out of this court case, I went on the bus to go downtown, and I was just looking out the window, and when we came to a stop, there was a man standing outside, and he shared a lot of the physical characteristics of the man that raped me. I prayed to a lot of different gods and goddesses in that moment that he wouldn't come and sit next to me because I wasn't ready. And he sat next to me. And of course he didn't do anything wrong, but I had to take a lot of deep breaths and focus on my breathing because I was being taken back to a place where I had been hurt. But as I was focusing on that breathing, a woman came onto the bus and started to degrade these two women wearing hijab. And the whole bus was silent, and it felt awkward. No one really knew what to do. But as she walked back and sat down and kept muttering her racism and Islamophobia, I built up this courage and turned to her. And as loudly as I could muster, I said, "That wasn't very nice." And just when I said that, a woman behind me was able to pipe up her voice, and she said, "Yeah, that was rude." And then the atmosphere in the bus changed. People didn't feel awkward anymore. There was a change of, this woman did something wrong, and we're going to hold her accountable. And the woman muttered something about me being a blue-eyed devil, and I felt this empowerment. And then the man who was sitting next to me, whom I'd been afraid of before, who I'd been triggered by, turned to me and said, "Thanks for doing that. That was really brave." And my fear went away. And I realized that even if I couldn't stand up for myself, I could stand up for other people. Just as my advocates and my support system had helped me through this court case, they had held my head above water while I was drowning. You can't save yourself from drowning. You need someone else to do that. Now that I've come out of my court case, it's my turn to help people reach their heads through the water. It's my turn to help and keep people from drowning, allowing them to speak their truths and allowing them to scream. I was only able to get there because I was surrounded by other women and men who held me above water, hearing other people talk about what they've been through allows this connection, allows this sisterhood and brotherhood to come together and hold people accountable for what they've done. And that brings empowerment to us all. And that's what makes this stop. And I think back to the little boy, the little 3-year-old boy, who I was so afraid of at first. And I'm so thankful that I got to be a part of his life, because at the school I teach at, one of the biggest lessons we teach from a young age is consent. Asking for a hug. May I give you a hug? May I give you a high five? No, thank you. So I get to be a part of raising children who embody the ideas of consent and respect. I didn't really learn about consent until I got into college. It wasn't a common conversation. But I'm seeing that a lot of our youth now are having that conversation, and it's embedded in their beliefs. So I have hope that talking about it and continuing to educate, especially the young, will stop these things from happening in the future.